Hey, how are you guys? I have a lot to do today. First of all, I'm gonna do a water change, and if you guys want to come watch, feel free to. I'm just gonna do a routine water change. All right, I attached this GoPro to my shoulder, and yeah, with some duct tape actually, and yeah, let's get this day started. So what I'm gonna be using is called a Python. I believe Aquarium has the same thing. It's basically an automatic water changer. It connects to your faucet and it vacuums out the water from your tank directly into the sink, and it also adds water from the faucet into your tank. Um, Two reasons why this is a great investment. One, you don't have to use buckets to change your water. It's a lot more efficient. It's faster. And two, it also acts as a gravel vac, which is very important because no matter, even if your biological filter is super strong, you still need to vacuum the fish poop off the gravel, because otherwise your fish will get sick even if you have a very strong biofilter. And I learned this the hard way. What I'm doing right now is I'm sucking the fish poop from my 10-gallon. It's fairly easy because it's a bare bottom tank, but now the next one is going to be a bit harder because it's my fully planted tank, and the tricky part about that is because you don't want to press too hard, otherwise it would damage your plants. And I sell my plants, so they have to be very healthy. So I just put light pressure on it, and as you can see, all the dirt and debris, it's getting sucked. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's getting sucked up. The reason why it's that dirty is because I haven't vacuumed for around 3 weeks. I recommend this every week, by the way, and I'm just turning up the vacuum a bit more. And if it's not really sucking anything up, I would turn it up a bit. Uh, and for those of you who just have a 20-gallon tank, because mine is connected into a sump, so there's water constantly flowing in there as the water level goes lower. Uh, if you just have a 20-gallon, by the time you finish vacuuming the whole tank, there probably wouldn't be any water left in your tank. So I would I would say just either do a half job and vacuum everything really quickly and then do it again next week, or vacuum half of it very thoroughly and then vacuum the other half next week, because you don't want to do a water change, like 100% water change. So uh, yeah, that's what I recommend. What I'm doing right now is, last week I made a water bridge to connect my 20-gallon to my 10-gallon, and what that just made the water shared. But the bad thing about it is that it restricted my flow. Not a lot of flow went into my 10-gallon. So what I'm doing now is I'm changing my overflow from my 20-gallon into my 10-gallon. So that sort of forces the water into the 10-gallon from the 20-gallon through the water bridge, and that creates a better flow for my aquarium system. If this is, you don't really need to know this. This is more advanced stuff. If you're new to fish keeping, just skip this part. I'm just putting the water bridge back because I sort of just slapped it on top of the overflow last week, and I need to take it off in order to reposition the overflow. So I'm just putting that back on. And yeah, what I'm doing right now is I took the sponges out of my filters and I'm going to clean it in a bit. Uh, I'm just waiting for water to refill back into my aquariums. If you notice, in like about a minute from now, my top tank, the 55-gallon, the really big one, it's gonna be filled with like dirt, but it's not because it's dirty. It's because I actually modified it. I sectioned it off and I added soil to it. Um, oh, by the way, I'm just making a lid for my 10-gallon, because when I repositioned everything, the piece of glass wouldn't fit it anymore. So then I sort of just made a makeshift thing with cardboard and saran wrap and sort of stapled it together. But you just gotta work with what you have, and if it works, it's great. Um, and yeah, you can see the dirt in there. I'm gonna show you the final product of what I did with that dirt. Um, you're supposed to put in dirt when when your tank is dry, and then add water to it. But I figured, hey, since there's very little water, I might as well pour the dirt in, and don't worry, after an hour everything's clear, the water's clear again. What I'm doing right now is I'm adding Prime and also Flourish Excel to my water. Prime is a dechlorinator, and it eliminates the chlorine and the chloramines from the water, which is harmful for fish. So Prime eliminates that. And the Flourish is basically a plant fertilizer. It's more like liquid carbon, but it's for the plants. And yeah, what I'm doing now is I'm about to take the sponges out of my filters and rinse it with water to clear out all the dirt and everything inside. If you don't have a very strong biological filter, I wouldn't recommend using tap water. By the way, I would just take a bucket of used fish water and sort of rinse the filter floss in that, because you don't want chlorine to kill all the good bacteria that you need to convert ammonia and nitrites into a less harmful substance. But I'm just doing that because I already have a biological filter inside. So for me, it's just a way of cleaning the filter so it doesn't restrict the water flow. But if you're new to fish keeping, you probably don't have a very strong biological filter. I would just rinse the filter under used fish water, and then obviously dump the used fish water out. Don't put it back in. For my big aquarium system, however, I'm just gonna throw out the filter floss because it's very dirty, especially from all that dirt and everything that I added on top. It just gets filtered into the filter floss. I just threw that out and I just replaced it with new filter floss. It's relatively cheap, so it's good. And these are just the pads that I put on top of the filter floss to keep the noise down. They are pot scrubbies. They're good biological filters, but that's not what I'm using it for. As you can see now, my tank isn't that dirty anymore. Like, there's not as much dirt. This was after like half an hour, but yeah. And yeah, I believe that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And stay tuned for my next video. Just give me 1 sec, I'm gonna go on the webcam here. Yeah, so if you like my video, please like it, and hopefully you'll like my other videos as well. And stay tuned for my next video. I believe I'm going to be drilling a hole in a 20-gallon tank. And shortly after that, the next week, I'm going to be doing a water change with a bucket the old-fashioned way. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer your questions. And please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you the next time I make a video, which will be probably in a few days. And also one next week as well. I'll see you.